What's up guys, Meredith with Extreme Terrain, and today we're checking out the AirDesign 80 style hood scoop in satin black, fitting all 2016 to 2023 Toyota Tacomas, excluding the Tacomas that have the TRD Pro or TRD Sport hood. Now, hood scoop in general screams aggressive when it comes to looks and style, and this one by AirDesigns is going to do just that, adding a touch of sportiness to your build that you may need. Now, this will be non-functional as far as a hood scoop is concerned, so if you are simply in search of the look and an easy mod to add more to your build when it comes to the appearance, then this is going to be a fantastic option to do it with. Now, this will feature a raised design to it with a center louver and fin section, which will be the main portion of the hood scoop that will bring that style to the table compared to other more minimal alternatives. Now, the satin finish will also do a nice job at contrasting every color code, especially those brighter colors if you want to break it up when it comes to the styling. Now, the scoop will also be paintable with the right prep, which is great if you want to color match the whole thing or just the borders like most owners. What you can do is take this middle piece out. This is removable, so you can have this painted and then pop this back on to break it up as far as the styling is concerned. Now, this will be made of a high impact ABS plastic, which is perfect for this kind of mod considering that it's durable to hold up to the elements and whatever paces you put your Tacoma through, as well as being a little flexible for a nice fit on the hood. Now, speaking of that, on the back and on the back of this middle section here, it's going to be bordered with auto grade heavy duty 3M tape to attach to the hood, so you can ensure that it's not going to go anywhere and you won't have to modify your hood in order to do it. Now, because this is a non-functional scoop and is sealed the majority of the way around, this will still feature a water drain on the front to make sure that no water is puddling up underneath here. Now, again, the material is paintable, but just as a reminder, it will require the correct preparation in order to get a good final product. Now, this scoop comes in at about $400, which is pretty average for a mod like this. Now, what I will say is that if you're just looking for an aesthetic mod when it comes to a scoop rather than more airflow, this is going to be a much more affordable alternative compared to a full hood. Now, compared to other scoops, however, I do like the fact that this is a lot larger. I think it fits the Tacoma hood very well, and the center louvers here really add a lot to the look, making it a great choice if you want a lot more styling out of the front end of your truck. Install will be a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter and should only take you about a half hour to get the job done. Now, speaking of the install, one of our customers here has installed this on their Tacoma and is going to walk you through what that process looks like step by step. So that is going to wrap it up for my review. Let's go ahead and get into the install.
Okay, so here are all the tools I used during this install. It was a very simple install. First, and probably the best thing, is a lot of rags. I used a lot of rags for this. To prep the hood scoop, to prep the surface of my vehicle, and just kind of wanted to clean, especially with the polyurethane. It's a little bit messy, especially when you haven't used it a lot. So I would definitely recommend lots of rags, lots of towels, just to kind of keep your workstation clean. As the instructions say, masking tape. I just used some frog tape just to kind of hold it in place, just to make it easier to get all the little adhesive strips off. Again, the instructions: isopropyl alcohol just to prep the surfaces and clean them so they're ready for install. A knife or a box cutter. They recommend a box cutter. I didn't happen to have one, so I just used a knife, any sharp object. They use this to take off the adhesive strips to separate it from the actual hood scoop. Then this is included in the kit, the caulk, the polyurethane, but the only thing I provided was the actual application gun. So we have now moved over to the hood scoop, and the first step is to use some isopropyl alcohol and a rag just to clean off the surface and get it prepped for the adhesion promoter. So we're gonna go ahead and do that right now. So we're just gonna give that a nice little rub, and now we're just gonna kind of clean off the area where we're going to be installing the other piece of the hood scoop. So we're getting it prepped for this piece right here. Okay, so now the surface is cleaned off. Now the next step is to actually peel off the back of the hood scoop itself and apply it to the base. So we're gonna go ahead and do that right now. So here's what the hood scoop will look like, and here's the back. So we're gonna go ahead and peel this off a little bit and use some masking tape to hold it in place. So we're gonna go ahead and peel some more pieces of masking tape just to hold the adhesive cover out of the way while we're trying to apply. So let's go ahead and get this started peeling here. It recommends to use a knife or a box cutter, so we're gonna try that out. And that actually worked very well. That helped a lot. So now that we have this little piece right here, we're just gonna fold it over and use one of our pieces of masking tape just to hold it in place, just so we can grab it once it's actually installed. So we're gonna do the same on the other side. Just get it started there. Perfect. Okay. Pull it back about the same and do the exact same thing to this side. Just a little piece of masking tape just to hold it in place. So now we're gonna move on to step 4. We're going to place the hood scoop into the base and just get it situated in the orientation that we want. So just gonna set that down in there like so. And now going on to step 5, we're going to remove the liner. So we're gonna take the masking tape off and pull the liner to reveal the adhesive sticker on the bottom. So now we're just going to remove the last strip of the adhesive cover. So moving on to step 6, now that is actually in place and the adhesive tape is removed, we're going to just press firmly down on all the sides to make sure that the adhesive is taking and is actually sticking. So we're going to do that right now. Okay, so I feel like that's pretty secure in there right now. So we're gonna move on to step 7. We're gonna pre-mount the blackout. So the blackout is right here. It came in this little bag right here along with the grease pencil. So we're gonna go ahead and follow the directions and clean off the back of it with some alcohol, and then we'll apply the blackout. So I'm just gonna flip this around so we can have a better view of it. Step 7.1, we're going to just clean the surface again with alcohol. Just this back strip right along here. So we're gonna go ahead and put a little more alcohol on the rag, rub it in, and then we're gonna just clean off this area right here. Now we're going to just wet the back of the scoop as well as the back of the sticker, the back of the blackout sticker. And then we're going to place and press. And the point of the blackout tape is to eliminate the glare caused by the light reflected off of this. So when you're driving, there won't be a huge glare. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. This just kind of rolls out and then it should sit perfectly across there. So we're gonna go ahead and do that right now. So I'm actually going to use the cloth again. I'm going to just lightly press it down with my fingers, and then we're going to use the cloth to work out some of the wrinkles. Okay, so now the blackout tape has been applied. And it has been firmly pressed down. I'll probably try to work out some more of these bubbles once the tape takes a little bit better. There we go. So I'm just gonna continue to work out some of these bubbles, and then we will move on to actually prepping the hood of the truck for the install. Okay, so we are currently on step 9. Step 9 says just to clean the surface that we're applying it to with just some alcohol. So we're gonna do the same steps as last time, using our little blue rag and some isopropyl alcohol. We're gonna go ahead and prep the surface so we can start to install the actual hood scoop. Okay, so the hood of my truck was a bit dirtier than I expected, but it's clean regardless. So now we're actually going to place the hood scoop onto the truck and use the included grease pencil that came in the little pack with the blackout tape to trace the outline in grease so we can go ahead and get it installed and get the adhesive. So I'm gonna go grab the hood scoop, put it on, and get the grease pencil and make an outline. Okay, so we have the hood scoop. We're just gonna place it on here. And then now it's actually on the truck, we're going to center it up, and then we're going to use the grease pencil to just mark around it and make sure it's centered. Like it says, pre-mount step 10, we just put it up there, just kind of see how it looks. Now we're gonna move on to step 11, which is align and center. So the back of the hood scoop, I'll actually just show you guys. Back of the hood scoop should just line up with the edge of your hood. So we're just gonna move this over and it should line up perfectly, and then we'll center it and mark it with the grease pencil. So go ahead and set this back up, and then we'll get into actually marking it now. So we're gonna just eyeball it, just line it up, and then we're going to mark it with the grease pencil. Okay, so we're just gonna follow the body lines of the hood up until we meet about the same point on either side of the hood scoop, just to make sure it's centered. Okay, so the front is now centered. We've hit the relative area, so we're just gonna go ahead and mark with the grease pencil on the sides about where the front 2 points should sit. Now we're gonna move to the back. I'll actually bring this over here to show the process. So we're just gonna move to the back, and as you can see, it's relatively lined up. We're probably gonna shift it just like that. And now, as the instructions say, we're gonna make little lines along the hood with this grease pencil just to make sure it's aligned, and then we'll actually get into the install process. So we're gonna go ahead and do that now. We're just gonna make a little mark here, probably a mark in the center as well, and then we're gonna go over to the other side and do the exact same thing, just to know about where we lie in terms of where this should be. Make nice little lines right there, one in the middle, and we'll do another here and another on the side, just to be safe, so we know exactly where we're mounting it. So now we've marked it up, let me open back up the instruction manual. So as said in the instructions, we did use the grease pencil to mark the center line, just so we know approximately where it's going and where the adhesive will be sticking. So now step 13, we're going to start the peel again with the tape underneath. So we're gonna pick it up, start the tape, use the masking tape to hold it in place, and we'll put it back in place in the center, and then we'll start to peel off and push down onto the truck. We're gonna pick this up and flip it over. And as you can see, there are a lot of little strips here. So we're just gonna go ahead and peel this off. I'm actually gonna move back to the old setup so you can kind of see the overview of what's going on. We'll get these peeled, we'll get them taped up, and then we'll start applying the polyurethane caulk. Okay, so we are back over to our work area now. We are going to be peeling these little red adhesive stickers. Just a little bit, we're not gonna pull them completely off yet. We're just gonna get them started and tack them to the other side of the hood scoop with some masking tape. So I'm gonna go ahead and pre-peel some of the tape, so it'll make it easier when we go to tack it to the front. So there are actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different stickers. So we'll need 5 pieces of masking tape just to hold it in place. So we're gonna use our knife or box cutter, either or, from the instructions, just to get these started a little bit easier. There we are. Okay. Well, I thought I had it started a little bit easier. Maybe not. There we go. Okay. Now we're just gonna take this little piece, flip it around, and just tack it to the front, just like so. Gonna do the same thing for the rest of them. Just like so. Fold over and tape it just like that. So we're gonna go around the rest of them and we'll come back when I begin the polyurethane caulking. Okay, so now the double-sided tape, the adhesive cover has been tacked to the other side. So now we're gonna grab our caulk gun and we're gonna go ahead and get started on actually caulking the inside to make a nice little waterproof seal. This is step number 14 in the manual. So we just peeled off the adhesive liner, and now we're gonna move on to actually caulking the inside just between the tape and the actual hood scoop itself. So we're gonna place it right in this general region just to make a nice little seal right there. So we have our caulk gun. We're just going to pop this open like so. Just like that. So now we have our polyurethane adhesive open. We're just going to screw this on to the top. And now we're going to place it in the gun, just like so. Fits in perfectly, and we'll just tighten this up a little bit and start squeezing. And we're just going to go around the perimeter of the entire thing, just to give it a nice waterproof seal. So we're going to go ahead and do that right now. Also, a little side note, when applying the adhesive, make sure to keep the little water drain open as to not seal that up. Okay, so we got this side, this half done, so we're gonna move on to the other half and keep applying polyurethane. Okay, now we're gonna move on to the very back right here. Okay, give you a little close up here. As you can see right here, this is the water drain. So I skipped that completely right there just to leave that open, just so if any water gets underneath, it can still drain out and not be obstructed by the polyurethane. So we're going to, as you can see, I had a couple little spots where the caulk gun got away from me. So we're gonna clean that up real quick and then we'll move on to the rest of the steps. Okay, so we just completed step 14. We're gonna move on to step 15 now. We're actually gonna go grab the hood scoop again and place it on the truck and line it up between the grease marks that we made earlier. They still should be on there. They'll wipe right off. It's just a little bit of a grease pencil. So we're gonna do that now. As I stated in the last clip, I did clean up some of the polyurethane that got everywhere, but it was pretty easy, came right off. So now we're gonna actually apply it to the truck and get into applying it. Okay, now that it's on, we put it right back in the spots that we had it on before with the little grease marks. Just be mindful of when you're placing it. That polyurethane is very sticky, very adhesive. So make sure you have it pretty lined up before you start to press down at all, because then it'll just be difficult to pull right back up. Luckily, when I put it down, it was pretty much in its correct position. So I'm just gonna clean up some of the extra of adhesive that got onto the truck while I was placing it, and then we'll start to peel off some of the adhesive strips. Okay, the grease actually got, or the adhesive actually got on less places than I thought it did. So now we're gonna go ahead and move on to step 16 and remove the liner that we taped earlier. As you can see, the little green marks right there. We're just gonna take those off, peel off the liner, and we're going to press down firmly just to make sure everything sits right and the actual hood scoop is secured to the truck. So we're gonna do that right now. Okay, so all the strips are now removed. So we're gonna move on to pressing firmly down onto the hood scoop. Just make sure it's secure. As you can see, I'm a little bit messy, so I am going to place a rag over the top of it just so I don't get any extra grease. So it'll take me less time later to actually clean everything up. Okay, so we pressed firmly down on everything. We're going to just clean off the grease pencil and the extra adhesive, and then we're left with the installed part. So I'm actually going to use the same cloth I just used, and I'm going to put some alcohol on it, just kind of clean everything up, make everything nice and shiny, nice and clean, so it doesn't look like I just put adhesive all over it. So we're gonna do that now. It's gonna clean everything up, make it look nice.
So that's gonna wrap it up for my review and the install of this Air Design AD style hood scoop in satin black, fitting all 2016 to 2023 Toyota Tacomas, excluding the Tacomas that have that TRD Pro or TRD Sport hood. And remember, for all things Tacoma, keep it right here at extremeterrain.com.